My parents don't believe in me. What should I do? I live in the same house as well, so it's hard. Well, if you're still living in the same house, sweetie, you have to get out. This is mango passion fruit. First of all, if you're watching this video because you think that I can make you into a millionaire, you're wrong. I can't turn you into a millionaire, but I can tell you how. But of course, everyone's secret formula to being successful is different. So if you're looking for a step-by-step manual to becoming rich, I can tell you right now, it doesn't exist. I know it's frustrating, but that's the truth. If you're looking for a quick, easy way to becoming rich just like that, you're not gonna get it. Some people are born into the millionaire lifestyle. Some people have to work hard for it. Some people work really hard and still they don't have the luck for it. So everyone is different, but in general, these 7 tips that I'm about to give you guys are a great way to start, and it's good to just constantly keep these tips in mind. So I've got 7 tips, and then I'll be answering 10 of your most frequently asked questions that you guys have left me in the previous episode. First tip is to have a vision and a goal. Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years? Having a vision sets you in the right direction, and your goals will tell you the specific steps you have to take in order to get to your vision. For example, let's say you want to move to LA and you're currently living in Canada. So LA is your vision, that's your end goal. And the steps that you take to get there, to move to LA, those are your little goals. They're little targets that you have to hit. Every little step that you take is a separate goal that will eventually lead you to your vision. One of the most powerful things about having a goal is that it provides you with focus. It allows you to zero in on the exact actions you have to do in order to get what you want. So I want you to be very specific with your goals. Instead of saying, I want to earn money, try saying, I want to earn $5,000 by the 5th of January 2021. So yeah, just go and explore, have fun with it. Tip number 2, take action. The biggest mistake I see people doing is doing nothing. If the life that you want is so important to you, then do something about it. Do you know what I mean? That's why having a vision is so important. But you have to make sure that your vision is convincing enough for you. So create a vision that is so compelling to you that you have to just get started right away. So if your goal is to buy a house, go online and research about the steps to buying a house. Talk to an agent, talk to a realtor, get all the information that you need, and maybe go and view some houses as well. Tip number 3, educate yourself. Read up on business, finance, and self-improvement books. Go for seminars and go for events. Don't come telling me, Jody, I don't know what to do, I don't understand anything. If you don't understand anything, sweetie, go and learn. Start with the basics. If you are a complete beginner, start with this book called Introduction to Business. It's a boring book, I'm not gonna lie. It's big and it's boring. It's really boring, but it is very useful, and it goes through all the definitions of some of the words that we commonly use in the business world. It tells you about the basics of how business and economics work, so it's very important. Go and learn that. You will learn about the supply and the demand curve. You will learn about inflation, demand pull inflation, and cost push inflation. You will learn about the economic system, the growth, macroeconomics, microeconomics, mixed economies, the market structure, and so much more. It's a huge book, so go and study. Other books I recommend are Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, and Girl Code. These are all really good books. Listen, I'm not your mentor. I'm not here to spoon feed you every single step of the way. The resources are all out there for you. If you want it, go and get it. It's not hard to learn. Tip number 4, financial management. Guys, this is so important. I cannot stress this enough how important this is. When you're starting out, chances are you don't have a lot of money. Yeah. And if you want to be able to do something, you need to be able to manage your money, first of all. If you can't tell me where exactly your money is going every single month, you cannot manage your finance. So read up on finance books and start saving. You can start by creating a budget. Simple as that. So there are 2 different kinds of expenses. You have fixed expenses and variable expenses. Fixed expenses are expenses that stay the same each month. You have things like rent, health insurance, savings, and variable expenses are expenses that, well, they change. That includes shopping, entertainment, eating out, clothing and such. I want you to subtract your expenses from your income. If you have money left, that money will be put towards your goal. If the money left isn't that much, I want you to go back to your variable expenses and see if you can cut back on any of that to have more money to put towards your goal instead. Look for ways to reduce your expenses and increase your income, or both. If you can't seem to cut back on variable expenses, then you might want to consider taking on a second job or working a side hustle just to get a little bit more cash flow in. You have to make sacrifices if you want a better tomorrow. Let's just put it that way. So the choices you make right now will greatly impact your futures. So choose wisely. You can also try bullet journaling to keep track of your expenses, or you can try practicing the 50-30-20 rule. So 50% of your earnings go to rent and bills, 30% will go to spending, and 20% of your earnings will go to savings. Or if you want to, you can do it like me and do 30% savings and 20% spending. So that will be the 50-20-30 rule. It's up to you. Tip number 5, do not start a business if you don't have capital. Obviously, you can't start a business if you don't have money. You can't start a business if you have $0 in your bank account. So depending on the type of business that you're starting, you're gonna need money. You don't need a lot of money if you're planning to start just a really small online business. I'd say a good $5,000 is a good start if you're planning to start a small business. Tip number 6, get a mentor. Get yourself a mentor. A mentor is someone who will kind of guide you and lead you down the right path. A good mentor will teach you how to do things correctly and efficiently. A bad mentor will take your money and waste your time. So find a good mentor and have them guide you well. You can find really good mentors in seminars, business events, or gatherings. So attend their seminars, read their books, meet them, talk to them, get to know their work ethic and attitude, and then decide if you want this person to mentor you. Don't just get anyone to mentor you. Make sure you really trust and believe in this person before asking them to mentor you. Number 7, mindset and attitude. Be it your mindset or the people around you, you have to make sure you have what I call a hustler's mindset. I don't care how close you guys are as friends. If you guys are not hustling on the same level, it's not gonna work out. Trust me, it's not. In this line of work, you will come across a few kinds of obstacles. External obstacles and also psychological obstacles. Some examples of external obstacles are things like time constraints, lack of skills and knowledge, not having enough money, and having friends or family members maybe who don't approve of what you're doing. And some internal psychological obstacles are the fear of failure, lack of motivation, poor self-worth, maybe lack of confidence, etc. If you think like that, that mindset has to go. And if your friends think like that, they have to go. As someone who hustles myself, I can tell you for sure that you'll tend to outgrow your old friends. And no matter how hard it is, you have to let them go and find new friends who are hustling on your level, because only then will you be able to challenge yourself and improve. So those are my 7 tips. So now on to the questions. 10 questions. Let's go. Like I said, if you're starting a small business, I'd say $5,000 would be a good start. You can make do with $1,000 if you're starting a really small business, but that is a little bit of a risk. And obviously, if you're gonna start a big business, you're gonna need a little bit more than that. Question number 2, I want to start following my dreams and opening my business, but my parents don't believe in me. What should I do? I live in the same house as well, so it's hard. Well, if you're still living in the same house, sweetie, you have to get out. And it's not hard. Well, I mean, it's hard, but what's harder is coming home every single day with negativity thrown right in your face. Just work hard, and once you get enough money, move out. It doesn't have to be a nice place. It just has to be your place. So just do something about it. Go to your first house viewing. It might sound crazy and you might not have the money to move out yet, but it makes it real. Every time you do something that scares you a little bit, you're breaking out of your shell and you grow a little bit more. It's gonna go from someday I will move out to, yeah, I'm gonna move out next year. If you're unsure of what to do in your life, just study, okay? There's no harm in studying, and it's always good to have something to fall back on. Studying is fun. I love studying. It's such a privilege to study. A lot of people don't realize that. Just think of it as an investment for yourself, more knowledge, you know? And also getting a degree and a master's will add on to your overall appeal. It just, like a little cherry on top. It's Well, I started working when I was 16 years old, so that's not actually too young to work. Anyone can be a waitress at a hotel at 16. So if you apply for a job at a good job agency, they will find you a nice work placement. So I wanted a hotel job, so I applied for it, went through with the interview, and I got it. So yeah. Oh, that's easy. The things that I want to do in life and the things that make me happy, they all require money. That's just the fact. I have the drive, I have the passion, I have the qualifications to do whatever I want, but the only thing that was holding me back in the past was money. I want to be able to do whatever I want without having to worry day and night about whether or not I can afford it. It's stressful to think about that, so I want to just eliminate the stress of ever worrying about money forever. So you will fail. It's inevitable. Most businesses fail when they first start. Mine failed as well. People will be rude to you, and people will flake on you last minute. So yeah, it's all part of the journey. Just don't give up. That's gonna depend on the job that you're applying for. If you're applying to be a model, you're gonna have to dress a little bit differently. If you're talking about a hotel job, anything in a hotel management job, I would suggest you going in looking really smart. You want to wear heels with light makeup, have a nice handbag with you as well, keep your hair out of your face, and make sure that you have your nails nicely manicured. No Cardi B nails, keep it nice and neutral. Go for light pinks, nude, white, or a nice classic French manicure. Make sure to smile, and also make sure you have a nice posture. Sit up straight, chin up, shoulders back. Yeah. Well, actually, in most hotels, a minor is actually allowed to serve alcohol as long as he or she is being supervised by someone else. So I was put to work in the hotel bar by my hotel managers under the supervision of the actual bartender, who was a lot older than me as well. Okay, so I'm not motivated all the time. I'm motivated most of the time, yes, but there are times that I'm not motivated, and I have to do things to get myself into the zone to actually do anything productive. The one thing that definitely helps is to make sure you create the right environment for yourself to work in. Do not work on your bed or anywhere near your bed. I tend to fall asleep really easily like that. Reading books before you start working also helps with your focus. Working out also helps a lot with focus, so make sure you exercise regularly. Well, I wouldn't say starting a business, but the hardest part about doing this whole thing, I'd say, is the consistency, because you have to really love what you're doing in order to be able to do it for life, and to be able to do it with the same amount of passion and drive and quality as when you first started. So there are days where I feel like, you know, I just feel like staying in bed all day, but it is very important to be consistent with whatever you're doing, be it business, working out, your skincare routine. Keeping consistent is one of the hardest things to do, but yes, I've learned to love it. I love working. I feel weird when I don't work for a long period of time, so I love taking breaks, but if my break is too long, I tend to get really sluggish. So yes, that is all for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.